Hey, it's Daddy Steve. Please like and subscribe. Please click on the deck heroes icon. Click on subscribe. 100% free. Blood in, blood out. And click on the notifications as well so you don't miss any amazing content. This is one of my favorites, Melly Monaco. She's giving us all the inside secrets on the ladies. I think I've watched this, but it was, I don't know, about a month ago. Completely forgot everything about it. The short story. I've forgotten everything. Over 1 million views on this video, so we're going to go through it. I'm going to give her the older male perspective on what this young lady is trying to say, so you get the benefit of experience from me and from her. Oh man, she's gorgeous, isn't she? Anyway, let's go.
You gotta control your fear of losing her. Because you're so scared of losing her that you're playing it safe. You want to make sure that at all times she likes you, she likes what you're doing. But that's when you're losing. You watch what you say around her, you agree with her, you change your behavior sometimes just to make sure that you don't turn her off. But you are actually turning her off by not showing your real personality. And at the end, you're too nice. So now because you're too nice, you're gonna still end up losing her. So you gotta control yourself and control the fear that you have of losing her. She's just a bitch. She's just a woman. Like, if you lose her, what is this gonna do to you? Nothing. So once you get a hold on your fear, you're gonna start acting like yourself and you're gonna start actually being more attractive. Number 2, the abundance mindset.
Right, yeah, and she's going to go on to the abundance mindset next. But I think she's already talking about it in part 1. What she's described, listen, it's not normal to be in a relationship with somebody that you need to, well, not at the beginning anyway, not at the beginning or the middle or necessarily. It's not normal to be in a relationship where you feel that you're treading on eggshells and that somebody almost is acting like she doesn't want to be around you. Thankfully, that's not the norm. But that's sort of what she's describing. And I think in that situation, the right thing to do may well be what she said, but I think more so the right thing to do is to get the out. Get the out. And just look at, whether you guys are compatible. Why are you together? If there's nothing binding you guys together, other than the circumstance that you happen to be together at this moment, then think about your future happiness. Think about a lot of videos on here with people who are kind of trapped in a situation where, there's marriage and kids involved, and then you are stuck. Got to be honest with each other, for each other. You know what I mean? And there's a big wide world out there, and as I say, mainly for the guys out there, listen, we don't have a body clock. You know what I mean? I'm in my 40s, so I've been in my 30s and 20s. I don't know how old you guys are that are watching this. It wouldn't matter if I was in my 50s and maybe even my 60s. At the end of the day, it just depends how you're put together, whether you have pride in your appearance, all the same stuff, whether you have pride in your appearance, how you smell, how you talk, whether you talk sense, whether you can smile and make a woman comfortable when you talk to her and all that kind of thing, whether you're good company, that type of thing. And hopefully, as you go through life, you are more kind of established in important ways. All right. I'm going to go on and touch on the abundance mentality. Let's see what she says first.
Mindset. You guys heard me talk about this before. So once you get a hold on your fear, you're going to start acting like yourself and you're going to start actually being more attractive. Number 2, the abundance mindset. You guys heard me talk about this before. So you got to have options. I don't know why you don't got options, but you need to have options. You cannot have this scarcity mindset. Sitting at home and you're like, well, if it doesn't work with her, it's the end of the world. No, fuck the bitch. Like, it's not the end of the world, because how many other bitch you can get? A lot. Your mind, you're probably thinking, she's the only girl who can like me. Excuse me? Like, you need to get a hold on who you are and start valuing yourself a little more. But you're probably thinking that because you don't have options. So just think about it. If you have like 3 or 4 bitches on deck, or bitches that you're talking to on a regular, when this one is acting up, it's easy to let her go because you already have a replacement. So you gotta make sure that you have hella bitches around you at all time. Because when this one bitch is not answering, not texting, or not showing you enough, you're like, well, this one over here is ready to go because she's been waiting for her turn for the longest. You have to have that mindset that you can get any bitch you want and they're in abundance. So make sure you have your options. Number 3, the way.
Right, I think what she's saying, she's got her own kind of colourful way going about it. And listen, I'm going to do my own video. I want to do my own video. I think I need to, just kind of breaking down the steps as I see it. As I say, as a 40-year-old man I live in a big city of London. It's an amazing city. It's just, who's lived a life, basically. I think what she's saying, in short summary, is don't commit to a relationship that you don't really want to be in. You know what I mean? That it's kind of like a struggle love kind of situation. Might not even be love. You know what I mean? So listen, play the field, whether you're a man or a woman, until you are in a situation, or until you reach the point where it's worth committing. You know what I mean? Don't be somebody who just rushes to commitment just because she's gorgeous. You know what I mean? And say if you had to chase somebody to the ends of the earth to get her to be interested, and she never actually kind of catches up, and it's never equal. Listen, that does not, I mean, just think about it for yourself. It doesn't bode well. You don't need a 40-year-old man to tell you that if you are constantly putting in all the effort, whether it's a man or a woman, if you're the person that puts in all the effort, otherwise it's just a house of cards and falls to the ground, then you haven't found your one. So don't waste any more of your time. Don't waste any more of her time. Keep it moving. So, yeah, and I think, listen, the way I look at it, it's sort of similar to what she was saying, is don't give anybody any promises until, say, you've reached that point. And you're not in a relationship until you are. So just have that mindset. Just go out and enjoy yourself. And say, don't commit to somebody don't commit to a toxic relationship. And if we are the source as men of that toxicity, then we need to fix self. If she's the source of that toxicity, then keep that thing rolling. Keep it. You don't need me to tell you that. Anyway, let's see what else she's going to say. What's this next one? Being non-reactive. Okay.
To gain power over bitches is to be non-reactive. I tell you that shit all the time. Bitches are gonna play games. They're gonna play games. But the minute that you show it's affecting you, that's when you lose. So you not reacting to nothing, she's gonna be like, wait, that's not normal. Doesn't mean he doesn't care about me. Doesn't mean he has other girls. You know, when you start creating that confusion in her mind, now she's going to be interested. Now she's going to be chasing you. So don't react to anything she does. Anything that you feel like is getting some type of emotion out of you, suppress it. Suppress it and be like, kind of like, no, she said something? No? Oh, okay. You know, you got to kind of like ignore bitches who are trying to like set you off. Because when you get frazzled, that's when you start making bad decisions. And that's going to be seen as weaknesses to women. Women know that, and they purposely try to get a rise out of you just to make them feel like they're in control or make them feel like you're weak. You know, they're gonna test you. That's what women do. Some do it consciously, some don't even realize, but they do it. So they either try to make you angry, they try to confuse you, just to see what you're gonna do. That's just all of this is part of the test. For example, she's gonna tell you, you would look better without a beard. So you might answer shit like, well, other women like it, or should I shave it? You would like it better? The moment you answer like this, you lost. You lost. What you should have done is just smile and keep it moving. Move on to the next subject, because, you know, this topic don't faze you. You don't really care about her opinion on your beard. That's your personal style, your personal preference. And that's it. You keep it moving. She's going to be so shocked that you didn't say anything, that you just smile and you kept it moving. The moment you react, you hand your power over to the bitch. She has control over you, and therefore you have no control over yourself at this point. Or a girl that is not texting you for days, and then all of a sudden she texts you, and now you jump right in, oh my God, let me text. No, you lose when you do that. Because at this point you are reacting too, and it shows that you can't help yourself. So you have no control, no power, no nothing. So she's winning. So you got to make sure that you are being non-reactive when they're trying to get a rouse out of you. Number 4, you have to be comfortable.
This is why I'm making these videos, right? Now listen, Mellie's just fun, man. She's good fun. You know, one of my favorite YouTubers, and it's not a diss, but listen, this is why you need men to kind of give a perspective on this thing. Ask yourself this question, the guys out there. Has she just described an effed up toxic lady who's a head tripper? It's either a yes or a no. And if she did, what advice do you think that I'm going to give? Even if she's not, right, in terms of healthy relationship, if a healthy relationship is, say, a 10, what rating would you give the person that she's just described? All those things. So there's ways to kind of manage somebody who's a toxic, effed up person who's just trying to play silly mind games with you. Well, what do you think is the right thing to do? Answer is obviously be more selective. You shouldn't even be with this kind of person anyway. So accept all, listen, and the only kind of sense I can get out of the advice, and say she's good fun, man. And she's coming from a woman's point of view, and I guess If you're in that situation and you don't want to get out, listen, then what you get is what you get, and you deserve it. You deserve what you accept, right? And you know where the door is, especially if you're a man. And if you're not in a committee, if you're not already crossed the line, and if you've seen this video too late and you're permanently in for some reason, then you need to be planning your exit. And if you haven't already, if you haven't already kind of crossed the line where you're trapped, essentially, get out. Get out. There's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of gorgeous ladies out there. I'm going to do a video on how to kind of, where to find ladies. But I'll give lots of clues, obviously, online, brunches, just out and about on the street and things like that. I give advice on lots of different scenarios. There's a billion different scenarios. You've got to maintain that effort. But everything obviously always comes down to, are you with the right person? Is it a positive, enjoyable relationship at its foundation? And if it's not, get out. And if somebody's playing too many mind games with you, listen, nobody's at a 10 in terms of perfection. You know what I mean? Being the perfect person. But if it's too often where this person is just immature and it's acting like she doesn't want to be with you, get them out. Anyway, being comfortable in the grey area. The one bit of sense I would say that she had from it is, listen, as an objective thinker, men tend to be objective thinkers. You need to see the code. You know what I mean? You don't want to be an emotional thinker. You know what I mean? There's a lot of men are raised by emotional thinkers, and if that is, then you need to kind of surround yourself with positive influences, basically. And anyway, yeah, what I'm trying to say is, naturally most men are objective thinkers. So if you can see the code and you know what happened before, and you're not going to get drawn in on the emotion, then you need to take a step back and don't say emotive words, and manage a situation in order for it to last. That's not saying that you're with somebody who's crazy and toxic. That just means in the moment where there's an argument or a misunderstanding, you can manage that to keep that positive relationship. That is a man. Let's go. Anyway, so being comfortable in the grey area.
In the gray area, you have to be okay with uncertainty. Nothing is guaranteed, and you have to be fine with not knowing if the bitch is gonna like you or not. So what you need to do is to give up the need to have the control over the outcome. So what I recommend is, when you first start dating a girl, you tell yourself, this might work or might not work, but it's gonna be a fun experience. That's it. So you're just gonna go in there and try to enjoy yourself. And maybe it's gonna be good for a little bit and then it's gonna be done. Or maybe it's gonna be good for a long time and you're gonna stay with the girl. But don't put expectations when you go into the relationship or into the dating, because that's how you're gonna lose your power. Often, if you think about it, you are being needy because you can control yourself and your emotions about not being certain of what's gonna happen. Because you're not comfortable with the uncertainty, you're gonna ask extra stuff, you're gonna be extra, you're gonna need extra reassurance. And do you like me? Do you wanna do this? Like all that shit? And now she's gonna look at you and be like, okay, I have the power over him and I can do whatever the fuck I want. No, you need to be cool. Be chill. If it works, it's cool. If it doesn't work, it's cool too. A lot of people want to solidify stuff so they can relax. But no, you need to relax while not knowing what's happening. And once it doesn't serve you anymore, you can just walk out. Because I'm telling you, women love a man that they can control. So the minute that a woman thinks she can control you, you lost. Number 5, do not deviate.
Okay, I think she's talking about a timid man. I think that's what she's talking about. It's a timid man. But I think she's also talking about simps as well. Somebody who just can't do enough. And there's nothing wrong with being generous, but there's always a point where there's too much. There's always a point where you think that, well, somebody senses that you, as I say, you don't feel that the power is balanced, and therefore you're trying to, as I say, buy your way into their affections, or just agree with everything that they say. And I say, if a relationship is not one of equals, then people just get a sense of it, and they won't value it. Basically, that's a long story short. So I think that is what I took from what she was saying. But really, it's I say she's a very attractive person who's well known, has got that kind of media presence. So there may well be a few people who are a little bit too appreciative of the fact of being her presence. And as I say, if you're coming from that point, why is she going to want to trade down to where you're at if that's your approach? You know what I mean? That doesn't mean you need to go in there and just fly around the world or have car, some ridiculously fancy car and all that necessarily. I don't know, but I wouldn't think so. if you've got that kind of self-assurance about yourself. So just go into it, know your value, know your worth. She's into you, that's why you're there. And as I say, you don't want to be obnoxious, but you don't want to be like a pussy either. Just be your natural self and confidence in that space. All right, let's go see what she's got in this, which I think is the last.
Because I'm telling you, women love a man that they can control. So the minute that a woman thinks she can control you, you lost. Number 5, do not deviate. So yes, she is in your life, but she's not your whole life. You got shit going on and you got stuff to make happen regardless of her. For example, I understand you might have plans with your friends and she knows that, but then she tells you, hey, can we go out? I really want to go out tonight when it's the same night. You're going to go and cancel your plans with your friends just to go out with her. I'm not saying in the beginning she's not going to like it, but eventually she's not going to find that attractive. What she will find attractive is like, hey, I'm sorry, I have plans already for tonight. Let's do tomorrow. You need to be able to tell the bitch no. Do not deviate from what you have planned for yourself. Go do what you need. And then when you have free time, that's when you're like, okay, we can plan something on that day. On that day, I don't have anything planned. Do not change your plans for bitches. No. The moment she's going to feel like you are deviating your life for her well-being, for what she wants, her needs and all of that, that's the moment she thinks she's in control. She has the power. She controls you. And now you're done. Because now in her mind, she feels like you pussy. Right? So that's all I have for you guys today. You need to...
I think I know what she's talking about. Okay, so if you are a drop your plans at any notice, then you're setting an unhealthy kind of precedent. You know what I mean? We're not being crazy. Like we're not being crazy. If the flat's on fire, maybe you don't need to go to the club or pick up little Jojo from like that at the end of the road. You know what I mean? So we're not being stupid, but we're talking about like common sense, general situations. If she's a little bit insecure because you want to see your friends, but you make that plan anyway, and obviously it's a healthy thing to have other new influences and new things to talk about in a relationship. Then you just got to stand your ground. You've got to think about whether what you've done is reasonable in some way, more so than kowtowing to somebody. And sometimes we need to put on our big boy pants, and sometimes they need to put on their big girl pants. And if what you're asking for is reasonable, then you don't have to bend. And that's an unhealthy precedent to kind of put in, to expect the other half to bend to you just because you feel a little bit kind of, I don't know, insecure or however you want to put it, and for them to expect us to just don't pay no mind. And the more that you entertain these things, the more power that dynamic has, and that will be the thing that brings the whole ship down. So if that's where you want to go, good luck with that. But I think we see the logic of it anyway. So yeah, Melly Monaco, you're one of my favorites. Brilliant as always. I'm going to do some more kind of videos from yourself. There's some very, very naughty videos I think that every man needs to know about. And I'm going to be studying those videos very well. You'll see it. Maybe not this video. It's going to be the next one. And it's all good. Please like, subscribe. Please click on the Deck Heroes icon. We've got lots of amazing and fun content. Going to be doing a few more. That's the end of the video, by the way. Going to do a few more deep dives because I've got a psychology and an economics background in addition to my mature years. So I'm looking to do a few more kind of deep dive, kind of analytical studies of things. That's what I'm interested in. But also I'm interested in some trash TV like Love is Blind. And I watched Monsters recently. So I'm going to be doing some kind of TV reviews. I did do a sprinkle of a little film review as well. I haven't got, anyway, let's do that. Please like, subscribe. Daddy Steve and I am out.